was in the 3rd grade, my 3rd grade class was chosen to do a very special musical number in the Christmas play. We were chosen to do a number called Too Fat for the Chimney. It was a very deep plot about how Santa Claus may not show up this Christmas because he was too fat for the chimney. And all of my friends were in full, like, Jane Fonda headband aerobics outfits. And my best friend Justin got to play Santa Claus. So they got all kind of the cool parts. Yours truly, while they were all back here in the back of the stage, doing an aerobics number, helping Santa lose some weight, this guy was put in full feety pajamas with the drop bottom and the stocking cap that my granny made me, and I had to go up to the front of the stage while they all did their little dance behind me, and I had to sing Too Fat for the Chimney. No, I'm not singing it for you today. And in that moment, I was introduced to the biggest addiction of my entire life. Because the first time in my life, in 3rd grade, staring out at peers of mine, I got a positive emotional response from a peer group. And the reason it's the first time that ever happened in my life is because I grew up a very insecure, overweight child. I came from a pretty gnarly, torn family. Nasty custody battle between my mom and my dad. Everybody gets along now, but at the time, really, really nasty. And really never feeling like I had a place that was safe. You ever felt that way? You didn't have like your own space. Over here, you have to act a certain way to get acceptance and love. But then when you're with this people, you have to act a different way, and you have to watch what you say because you want to be accepted and loved by those people as well. But on that stage, there was no family feud. It was me rocking my jammies, getting smiles from people my own age. And I knew in that moment there was something inside me that said, Jimmy, this is what you're designed to do. But also in that moment created conflict. Because I knew I was supposed to be on this stage. I knew I was supposed to be in front of people, entertaining, inspiring, motivating people. But I was so uncomfortable in what I was encased in. Heavy, overweight kid, really insecure. So as I went along in elementary school and into junior high and high school, I still had this desire to perform. In fact, in a lot of ways, my life became a performance. Because I felt like the only way I could get acceptance from people was to be on, was to entertain, was to laugh. Because inside I was very sad and very depressed. I didn't respect who I saw in the mirror. I didn't think I was good enough. But I still had this desire, right? Sometimes you know God put something in you to do something. But there's all these excuses. You're like, yeah, but I can't do it. Because look at my financial situation. Look at what I look like. Look at my weight. The list goes on and on and on. And I shared with my mom, I really feel like I want to act. I feel like I want to perform. And my mom, God bless her, really wanted to support me. But she's like, Jimmy, we just don't have the money to send you the places you want to go. Because it's funny, when you realize there's something you were designed to do, the first thing I wanted to do was to make sure that I aligned myself with the very best. If I was going to be the best, I needed to learn from the best. So I started doing my research. I started identifying those schools that would make me the best performer, the best singer, the best dancer, to do the things I wanted to do. And my mom said, we can't even afford the plane ticket to let you go and audition at these places. And so there was a root, this resentment that was birthed inside me. You ever feel like you're supposed to do something and you get a case of the it's not fairs? Right? You too? Yeah. I'm supposed to do this, but I can't because it's not fair. I don't have the funds to do it. I don't have the privileges they had. I didn't have the connection they had. And you start quietly pointing fingers at other people and blaming them for why you can't do what you were designed to do. So that's where my conflict continued to grow. I'm supposed to be on stage, but I'm this fat kid. And as this is going on, I'm getting bigger and bigger. I ended up having to go to a 2-year community college in Texas, near where I grew up. Now, it ended up being a huge blessing, a great school, but at the time I felt like I was having to settle. And I couldn't be where I wanted to be. At the same time, I'm working 2 jobs while trying to pursue this dream. And I see other people whose parents are paying for college, they're driving new cars, they can make all the auditions, they can afford the good voice lessons, they can do all these other things, and I go, look, of course they're further along than I am. Of course, so, I'm off the hook. I shouldn't be expected to achieve a lot. Look at all this bag of excuses that I have behind me right now. Continue to try to go to school. I was blessed enough after those 2 years to get a scholarship to go up to the University of Oklahoma. Spent a short time there, ran off to Disney World to work for a little bit, and I kept trying to move. I'd get to a place, think, here's my fresh start. Here's my fresh start, and it's going to be different here. And about 6 months in, I had built all the same excuses. I had the same lack of success. And I had found a whole new group of people to blame on why I wasn't getting my shit done. Right? And so I'd move again. And so I'd move again. To where I found myself in my early 20s as a 3-time college dropout living back at home with my parents, 100 pounds overweight. I had given up on my dreams. I had gone from a dreamer to just settling. You know those days when you get caught in that rut? Nikki talked about the rut. When the alarm goes off and it's Groundhog's Day, you're just immediately in survival mode. It's not thrive mode. It's not excited about life. It's, man, I hope I can make it through today. And you're already defeated before your feet hit the floor. That's where I was, right? Because I was back in Dallas, living with my folks, 100 pounds overweight, not acting, not performing, not in school. And I remember that there was a day that I was at home, I'd been in the shower, I came out with a towel around me, and I hovered just for a second in front of the mirror. Not a place a dude 100 pounds overweight likes to hang out a lot. And I sat there, and I just looked at that guy. And one question just burned out of my gut. Who is gonna love this? And I realized I was gonna be alone the rest of my life unless something changed. That was my enough is enough moment. And a lot of you traveled to come in here today with those dreams still intact, right? Things you want to do with your life. With this business being an opportunity to be the tool that gets you there. But you came in through those doors dragging that bag of excuses with you too. I'm not further along in my business because, and every one of you just filled in a blank immediately without thinking about it. So where does the story go from there? I was bartending in Dallas. Obviously, plan A wasn't working, guys. Come on. Bartending, I'm not performing. And a buddy of mine that I'm bartending with starts losing weight. Now, I'm just going to talk just to the fellas in the room. We have a lot of lovely ladies here, so you can listen in, but I'm talking to the dudes. Guys, when you see one of your buddies start doing something that's really cool, specifically when it comes to he's dressing better or he's losing weight, or we don't go ask the guy what he's doing. There's no Facebook selfie, I don't like it, comment, go, Joey, you look great, what are you doing? No, it's more like this. That's here, right? Inside you're like, what's he doing? So I watched my buddy Jeremy, I'm bartending with him this night, and this mofo keeps losing weight. So, you know, it's like the service station, right? Well, I don't know, we're over here like, we're marrying ketchups or whatever you do. And I just kind of mosey up to him and I'm like, so what's up? He's like, well, I'm like, no, you know. You know I know, and I know you know that I know. I was like, how are you losing weight, dude? He gets really excited. Oh man, I'm doing these DVD, and the last D could not leave his mouth, and I'm like, out. I'm not doing your Jane Fonda workout tape. And he didn't push it. I was a no. I was given an opportunity to change my life. An opportunity presented itself, and I gave the guy the finger and walked. But I kept watching him. You all have that friend that told you were crazy. Yeah. And they walked off, and they gave you the finger, and you know what they did? They walked up like, no way! They're like behind the bush, right? Because they don't want to know that they're watching. You get a little fitter, that Thursday check comes in. How are they on a vacation in Cancun? Why are they going on a cruise? So I watched my buddy. He kept losing weight, kept looking better. So finally, swallowed the pride. Hey, what's going on? I'm doing these DVDs called Power 90. You should come over, like we can check it out. I'm like, all right. Pop that thing in, and there is Tony Horton in the shortest little shorty shorts doing this number. I didn't know what that was. How does that work? But I will tell you this. Broke as a joke, 2 maxed out credit cards at this point, and I remember looking in that mirror, right? Something has to change. I'm gonna be alone the rest of my life. It says something changes. And when you're, there's a flood and you're on your roof and you're praying to God, I need something to save me. Right. And the lifeboat rolls by and then the helicopter goes over. You better jump soon or God's gonna keep giving you opportunities. Right? So I didn't have $60 to get this Power 90, but I found it. And I popped that thing in, and within 2 weeks of sweating it up with Tony, I saw more results than anything I'd ever done in my entire life. And you know what happened? I was excited about something for the first time in my life for over 2 years. I had gained some confidence. Something I was doing was finally working. And it excited me. And it just became contagious. Fast forward, I meet my lovely wife, Kelly. We start our life together pretty early on. Still no coaching at this point. There's no business, right? There's no business. But I saw the promo for P90X and I thought, holy shit. That's scary. I gotta do it. Yeah. Well, I mean, half of you that done Insanity thought that too, like, oh no, okay, here's my credit card. So my wife and I did P90X together. About this time, I was back in Dallas. I finally started getting back into the theater community in Dallas. Found ways to kind of do some stuff, and there was a musical. This crazy little musical called Bat Boy. Exactly, right? We've come a long way since Too Fat for the Chimney. But the guy, the lead in this thing, has to climb around in a cage and swing upside down and do it while singing. Wow. And I used P90X to land that role. and had an extremely successful run in Dallas. And people started coming to me like, wow, why aren't you in New York City? I don't know. No, I'm not that good. I don't know if I can do that. And I was waiting for somebody else to give me permission to take the next step in my dream. You ever wait? Like you feel like where you are in your business right now, or in your fitness, that you're waiting, like I'm gonna be here till somebody comes by and goes, oh, it's your turn. You can be great now. I spent 90% of my life waiting for somebody else to give me permission to go kick ass. You don't need permission to be great. You go kick the door open and you take the steps and you go be great. Right? My wife, I'm like, look, I'm 27 years old at the time, 28, something like that. I'm like, if I don't try this, I don't know what's gonna happen. Had some friends that were already up here. My best buddy's Jet's here, he was already here. I'm like, I'm moving around the corner from this dude. And then he got cast on a cruise ship and left like the first 6 months I was up here. But got up here, moved to Queens, and started living the dream, right? Pounding the pavement, going to auditions, singing my songs, doing my thing. And it was while I was up here, I had made friends in a community on the message boards on Beachbody. And they were like my safe haven. You know, what I love about this community. The community that believes in you before you believe in you. Mm-hmm. They're that community that says, if you could see what I see in you, you're unstoppable. Right? And it's always so easy to see it in somebody else, but we fight with that person in the mirror. But I made a friend. God bless Melanie Boland. She sent me a message and said, I just came back from what they call the founders meeting. They're launching a business side of this. Are you interested? Now, those of you in relationships or in a marriage, you'll find that one of you is the wow person and one of you is the how person.
Yes.
Can you guess which one I am? Ooh, shiny object, I'm in.
Yeah.
And my wife, while she loved all the products and everything, was like, what's the fine print? Okay, if you're that person in your relationship, just raise your hand right now, please. You're the, is it a fine print? Is this a scam? What's all the details? And then whoa. And then raise your hand if you're like, I don't know, but there's parties involved. You're my people. Oh my God, you're my people. It's everybody with a hat on.
I don't even know this guy's name.
So we got in. I got involved. Now, mind you, 3-time college dropout. Still, a couple maxed out credit cards. I got no job in New York City. My wife's looking for a job. I'm doing coffee demonstrations at like department stores. Oh my God, okay. I was in Times Square yesterday for the first time in about 3 years. Those poor schmoes that are passing out the flyers, just go give them a hug, because that was me. Low point, absolute low point, 30 years old. I am in Times Square at 5:30 in the morning for a job. They hand me a Newsies outfit, right? The little stupid pants and the hat.
God.
And I'm supposed to pass out chocolates to people just waking up at 6 a.m. in Times Square in super friendly New York City. That's what's like, I gotta figure this business out. This sucks. I'm probably so over on my time. Are y'all with me? Are we good? Okay, I'm going somewhere with this. I like you. God, I gotta get back up to New York more often. Just looking around the city, I was like, yeah. Like, because there's like Jay-Z in your head, even if you don't have like headphones in. You're like, I run this joint. Like, like, what's this boy from Texas doing? Like, strutting down the street. So, I start trying to figure the business out. There's no Shakeology, there's no challenge packs, there's no national coach call, there's not Facebook, there's nothing. They're like, good luck. You think the back office sucks now. Try back then, right? And I'm just like, I'm just gonna show up every day. You know, I went about this the really long way, the wrong way, pushed it on my friends, you gotta do this with me, you gotta do this with me. Thank God people like Jet was like, just, yeah, whatever, sign me up, shut up. And some people came along, and some people didn't. And then they said, there's going to be an event in Los Angeles called Summit. Now at this point, no Facebook, no Zoom chats. We were not having like team calls, everybody's on the screen. The way I knew everybody were these tiny little pictures and you knew a screen name. My screen name was Actor Blue. So dreamy. And again, financially, made no sense. I had never met any of these people. And I looked at my wife and said, I'm supposed to be there. And God bless her, even if like reluctantly, she didn't tell me no. I wouldn't say she said yes. But she didn't say no. To me, that's yes. All the husbands in here are like, you're lucky you're still married, don't we? So I took a big leap of faith. I flew my very first cross-country flight ever to walk into a room of a bunch of people I didn't know. But I knew I could meet Tony Horton, and I knew I needed to know if this thing was for real. And it was being at an event. Who in here, this is your very first event? You're gonna have a choice at the end of this of whether or not this changed your life. This was about the size of the first summit, guys. It might not have been this big. Yeah, no, Michelle, it wasn't, right? No. 250? Right. Some of y'all have fit clubs bigger than that now. So I jumped in. I went to learn. I got to events. I started plugging in. And I didn't wait till I had it all figured out. It was put things into action immediately. Screw it up. Mess it up. Piss off a friend. Family members don't like me anymore. I just knew. You know what, though? Let me ask you a question. What's worse? Settling for the life you're not satisfied with right now, or maybe hurting somebody's feelings? Maybe hurting somebody's feelings on something that you could help them benefit. Did I go about it so wrong? Oh my gosh, so wrong. I wasn't introduced to personal development and I needed it so badly. Like, forget y'all then, I'm gonna keep doing this. But what I want to talk to is something all of you have already done better than me. So I said, all right, training says I'm supposed to do meetings. I'm supposed to invite people to stuff. So I would go rent a rehearsal space in Ripley Greer Studios every Tuesday night. Me and my wife and Jet would lug. They used to have these little showcase packs, right? We would lug a projector and like every product we had then all the way into Manhattan. I would set this thing up and we would wait. And nobody would show up. And Jet and Kelly would watch me do the presentation for the 45th time. I got really good at this presentation though. So I kept banging my head against that wall because I'm like, that's what they said I'm supposed to do. That's what they said I'm supposed to do. Until finally, I started working on a TV show and I had some downtime during the TV show, right? So acting stuff's going okay. I'm like an extra, but it's a consistent gig, it's money. And in my downtime, I go, oh, I start finding people online to talk to. This is right about the time Facebook came out, and it was before every coach in the world was on Facebook. So I just searched for people that had P90X in their profile and just said, hi, how are you? And started talking to people. And I started gaining traction. And why do I share that? 2 reasons. Number one, sometimes it's easy to look at what you perceive a successful coach is. Maybe you look at me or Mickey or Saudi or somebody up here and go, man, nobody tells them no, they got this thing down. I bet they just kick their heels up and it's just on autopilot, just success club points just raining, right? And that's not the case. Because what we're doing is just like, oh, I messed that up, messed that up. Oh, I messed that up, but they got involved anyway. And you just keep going forward. But what I want to say is 2 things. Sometimes you think, well, I can't do what they do. If you have somebody that came with you to this, you did something better in your business than I have ever done. Here, I couldn't recruit anybody outside of jet, and my wife, literally. Oh, I hear all the time, you don't understand New York. Everybody's skeptical. Everybody's trying to push something. They're not going to get this. They're not going to be into that. Oh, we like to go to the gyms. Nobody has room in their apartment to work out. I've heard it all. I see a lot of head nods, right? So excuses haven't changed in like 8 years, right? So you've done something. You figured out something that I didn't do. Run with that. The second thing that I had to realize is corporate loves us. Corporate wants to support us so much. But you don't have to do this the way they say you have to do this. What's corporate's job? Corporate's job is to look and let's say you guys are the entire network. And they're like, how can I create a training that if I throw one big net out, it's gonna catch the median, right? It's gonna give a lot of people some hope. What if you live on the outside of that net? Does that mean this business doesn't work for you? No. And again, I'm gonna go back to permission. You don't need permission to do this differently. Maybe your bit isn't challenge groups. Gentlemen, we just had a men's event in Dallas about this, right? You have permission. Who was there? Yes. You have permission to build this how you want to build it. You want to build it like a hardcore, traditional business? Great. If you're not as touchy-feely and social about it as the ladies, great. But there's something you do naturally. What's that thing that people come to you and ask you to do or ask for your advice? You probably downplay it because it comes so easy to you, you don't think it's a big deal. Figure out how to tie that thing around your business. Don't worry so much on your weaknesses. Go figure out how to blow up your strengths. For me, it became doing stuff like this. And when things started going to video, I'm like, game over, I got this. Because I got a ton of hidden hours doing theater stuff, right? So think about that. Wrap that around. You have permission to do this business maybe the way nobody has yet. Maybe you come along and revolutionize this thing and give a whole segment of people that have said no to this hope that, I didn't know you could do it that way. I'll get involved. So as I wrap up here, there's a couple things I want you to take away, because we've got a lot of great things coming up, we've got a video to watch and everything, is really take a moment. And number one, give yourself some credit. Take a second in the middle of the trudge, in the middle of your journey, just to step outside that and go, I've come a long way. Celebrate you. I don't care if you just signed up to be a coach before you walked in this door. You're at your first event. Feel awesome about that. Right? Figure out that thing that makes you uniquely you. And if you have a problem, go ask 10 of your friends. Hey, what's something I'm good at? Your friends will let you know. And then when they tell you, don't go, yeah, that's not that big a deal. Accept it and start pondering upon that. Right? And the number 3, get busy. Because that's the one thing I did. I didn't know it all. I didn't understand this business. I had my bag of excuses, but I continued to show up every day. And if you will show up every day, you are going to impact so many lives of people out there that desperately need what we have. I say this all the time, but I believe it more today than I ever have, ever in the history of talking to somebody. We do not sell health and fitness. We give hope to a world that desperately needs it, guys. You have the power to change somebody's life, and the day you don't share, quit being selfish with this. There are too many people that need us. Thank you for having me here today. Go take action and grow yourself.